is Rasmus. I run an insight agency called Point together with my colleagues. We do user research for our clients, helping them to tackle their challenges in strategy, development, design, and such. And I'm here today to talk to you a bit about when and how to do user research in your projects. Many times when a client comes to us with a specific problem, the view is that there's just a few pieces of the puzzle missing until you have a grasp on the entire user experience that you're going for. But many times as we start a dialogue with our client, we discover that the hypothesis that the client is working from was built by heuristics or guesswork, at least to a large extent. And our first task is usually to help the client weed through that and figure out, like, what can you actually use from your previous hypothesis, and where do you need to get more information. So that's where we'll start today, and I'm going to give you a checklist of a few situations where you might need to do user research, and I'm also going to give you a breakdown of what that user research should actually have as an output in order for you to move forward with your project. But first, I'd like to share this quote with you, and this is often the case when you find yourself in a situation where you need to do user research. You've tried to solve a problem with every solution you can think of, like the quote says, and maybe the challenge is actually finding a better problem. It's not finding another solution. And that's what we do. We help reframe the problem so that you can solve the challenge that is actually needing to be solved. Yeah, let's jump into the checklist. So here's the first situation that I'd like to bring up with you where you might need to do user research, and this is early on in the project. And the reason why we would need to do user research early on is that you have a desired future state that's unclear, or maybe you have user needs that are unclear. And in order to get clarity on that, because that's actually vital for you to be able to set the right type of goal, you need to get more information. That's what user research is all about. It's about learning. And if you find yourself that you haven't set a clear desired future state, or you are unsure of what your users' needs are that you're going to meet with the service you're developing, then you need to do user research. And that user research should have as an output a clear description of a desired future state that you're going for, and or it should have a map, a comprehensive map, preferably, of the user's needs that you're trying to meet. That's the first situation. Let's jump to the next one, which is when you're designing and developing a prototype. And what you are facing here is maybe uncertainty about what the service actually needs to entail. And if you face that kind of uncertainty, you should do user research that provide you with input on exactly what kind of behaviors, functions, or features does your solution, your service that you're developing need to have in order to meet the user needs that you've identified previously. That's a good output to focus on when you do user research in this stage. So for the last one, it's when you've gotten a bit further in your process and you actually have maybe several or one functioning prototype, hopefully several. And what you need to find out at this stage, or where you need to do user research, is if you don't have a clear evaluation of how the service as a whole performs, what kind of user experience it provides. If you have a few different concepts, then user research should be done to figure out which one is the best concept. And if you are already settled on a concept, you might need to do user research in order to verify that that concept actually meets the user needs and that it provides the user experience that you're going for. But you shouldn't be afraid to try things with your users. You should look at that as an opportunity to learn and to get more information. But you should also not forget that you might not have a complete grasp at all times of your users' motivation and perspective. And sometimes you need to accept that and go back in your process and try to learn more and get a better grasp on how you can fulfill your future users' needs. That's all from us, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.